Remain in your spot. Gotta help people be seated. Do you not know your seats? Your seats?
I don't know if we have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Where is the seats? That's the sponsor.
Oh, the sponsor.
It's going to be a very long program.
You're in the box now?
Yeah. You're in the box. Alright, well, Tom Aikens, you're number 11, so you don't get to. Sorry.
Sorry. See you, Tom.
What family are you in?
Swain.
There's not a Swains? Oh yeah, no, we have the seats for everybody. Swing, Blaze, and Seasons.
Welcome, friends and family, to our graduation celebration for the class of 2022. And a little bit of thanks for some sunshine. It was touch and go. As we honor these grads in the picturesque setting of Red Mountain, I want to acknowledge we are conducting this milestone ceremony on the traditional lands of the Sinites. My name is Tana Shippey, and I am the administrator of the Seven Summits Center for Learning. That's always such an awkward statement. God about 7S. You will quickly become aware that this is an unusually high-achieving group of young adults, and their accomplishments most certainly stand on their own. However, as Seven Summit students, this group has been supported by a dedicated and passionate tribe of adults who create the structure in this unique educational experience. These people offer so much more than their job description, but we have limited time to go into the details. Please stand up as I say your name. Jennifer Boudelet, our math and science teacher. Johnny Coleshill, our humanities teacher. Martine Lafontaine, who's not here, she's our operations manager. Tara Hawk, event coordinator, the energizer buddy behind this grad celebration, and marketing manager. Our board members, past and present. Parent volunteers in every shape and form. We rely heavily on parents. Jeff Taylor, principal of SD71. SD71 is our academic partner located in the Comox Valley. I will now turn over the show to Craig Monroe, a previous staff member and our Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. James, I love that you're wearing those shoes. It would be wrong if you weren't wearing those. Welcome, all you intelligent, intriguing, fun, and exquisite people. And welcome to all the men. I'm honored to be here today to be your Master of Ceremonies for the 7S graduation 2022. Master of Ceremonies with a capital N. I kind of like that. Today we are going to hear letters from parents and or guardians written in honor of their young graduate. We will have various presenters award a number of scholarships and bursaries. We will hear some words on behalf of the graduates themselves from Cooper Legler. And 7S principals Jeff Taylor will cap off the night with some throwing caps. I may even have time to delight you with a math joke. But first, to give his words of wisdom, let's hear from a 7S alumni, Harvard undergraduate student, and recent honest-to-goodness Olympian, Remy Goulet. Tell us how you do it, Remy.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying that there's so much hard work that goes into putting on events like this, and so many people that make this happen, so thank you for that. And thank you so much for having me be a part of it. And it's really special, because, yeah, when the board asked me to speak a little bit here, I was really surprised, because it really hasn't been so long since I graduated. It's only been 4 years, and I was just thinking, like, man, what do I have to say? Right, like, I've had 4 years of experience. But, you know, I figure I might not be a wise old man, but I can, I figure I'll tell you a little bit about what my experience has been like out of high school, and just give you a bit of an expectation of maybe what you'll see going out into the real world. Not too much, though, because I don't actually live in the real world. I'm an athlete, and us Olympic athletes, we live in a world that's basically kind of consumed by 4-year cycles. 4 years, because that's how often the Olympics come around. And the games, they just tend to loom so much larger than everything else. And when I graduated high school, it was at the start of one of these 4-year Olympic quads. And the games in Pyeongchang had just ended, and the Olympics were kind of on everybody's mind at that time, including mine. And I was kind of starting to think, I want to try and make the next Olympics. And I was like, whoa, is it finally going to be? At that time, I've been working at this for a long time, and I've been skiing competitively for over a decade now, and I was like, okay, this is finally going to be my time, and I'll give it my best shot. But, it wasn't stressful for me at the time. It was just a dream to work towards. But that spring, as I was graduating high school, that all changed. I went to a training camp down in Penticton with the Paralympic skiing team. And I remember one night, their head coach, he sat me down at dinner and he told me, Remy, you have to be at the next Olympics. You have to be. You must. He was basically implying that if I didn't make the next Olympics, my skiing career would be over. No questions. Now everyone else on the table like, whoa, no. I mean, you've got tons of time. Take it easy. You don't have to be the next Olympics. But this coach, he pushed them all away. He said, no, Remy, you have to be in the next Olympics. And I agreed with his logic, and at the time, and I still kind of do. But that was a lot of pressure to put on a 17-year-old kid who's got no idea what he's going to do. He's got no idea how he's going to make the Olympics. And I know it has been pretty self-driven, but in that moment, drive turned into a necessity for me. It was 4 years until the defining point of my entire skiing career. And for a while, it did bring me a lot of motivation, and it pushed me, and I got better from that for a year. So, the next year, I did really well. I won a bunch of gold medals at the Canada Winter Games. I had one of the best results ever at the Junior World Championships, and I raced my first World Cup with the big boys from Europe. And I remember that weekend I was the third best Canadian. The only 2 Canadians who beat me, they were retiring at the end of the year. And so that meant that in effect, at that moment, I felt that I was the best non-retired skier in Canada. Yes! 3 years early. You know, if I keep this up, Olympics is going to be no problem. Except, like, it didn't really turn out that way because while I was doing well, there was just so much pressure. And the closer the Olympics got, the more that pressure kept on building. And I felt that to keep up, there were like more things I kept piling on that I said, I have to do this. I decided I had to win a medal at the World Junior Championships my last year there. And the year after that, my first year as a senior athlete, I had to basically have an incredible season. So that I'd really stand out. You know, my mindset changed then. It was no longer, I'll go out and see how good I can be. It's changed to, I have to do this. I have to win a medal at World Juniors. I have to make the Olympics. And I'll force my way there. And the next year, everything went wrong. You know, I made a ton of mistakes, got sick, didn't win the medal. I told myself I had to win. And I remember being completely devastated. I pushed so hard, and it didn't work out. So I told myself, okay, next year I really have to do super well. But it was no good because by that time my mindset had changed, and I was forgetting how to ski well. The next year I would show up at race after race, just having prepared perfectly. Thinking I prepared every little bit super perfectly, trying to force my way to the best result possible. And time after time after time, I just fell so flat. I was performing so far below where I wanted to, even though I was trying so hard. And I went to my first real world championships that year. It was really disappointing. And it was weird because it was like the harder I tried, the worse I did. And it's just because I was forcing it too hard. And like by the end of that year, I was starting to realize what the problem was, but by then it was too late because the Olympic year was the next year, this year. So I got into the Olympic year, and since I hadn't been doing well, I had one chance to make the Olympics. One race in which I had to basically win out of the non-qualified athletes. Otherwise, my skiing career would be over. Or at least that's what I thought. So, going into that race was the most stressful time of my entire life. You know, it felt like everything was hanging in the balance. And I just didn't trust myself anymore. You know, I'd been skiing so far below where I wanted to be for so long, and I decided that I would pull the most forcing move that I could possibly think of. So in the weeks leading up to that race, I convinced myself that if I didn't win, I would die. Which is kind of ridiculous, but you know, I thought like, okay, if I get this in my head, like I'll think that if I don't win this race, then when I cross the finish line, some bolt of lightning is just going to come up from the sky and just strike me down. My heart's just going to suddenly stop. And that's how I raced the Olympic trials. It was really hard. But yeah, I forced my way to the finish line. It was a drag race the entire way with one other racer. And in the end, I did make it. And I was so relieved that I didn't die. But the relief didn't last long because pretty soon afterwards, I started to feel just really tired. And I didn't acknowledge it at the time because the Olympics were just around the corner, and I felt that I had to prepare. I had to keep training because I had to do well at the Olympics. But the reality is that even making it up a flight of stairs was painful for me at the time. And I was supposed to be an elite athlete. I can't even make it up a flight of stairs. So all the stress of those weeks those months and those years, those 4 years leading up to the Olympics where I told myself I had to be there, it finally broke me. And I was destroyed for a bit. And a few weeks back, I talked to Johnny, and he was telling me, "Oh, Remy, I looked for you on TV at the Olympics, and I couldn't find you." And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's a pretty common thing." And the reality is, I didn't have the best Olympics. Like, there's so many memories I had there that I'm going to treasure my whole life, but the races, those I want to forget. Because it was just 2 weeks of preparing as perfectly as I could, and just falling so flat time after time after time. It seemed like there was nothing I could do. The harder I tried, the worse I performed. And it was soul crushing because you train for years to perform at the Olympics. And I just couldn't. After 3 weeks, I was pretty much broken. I remember I got to the end. And one of the most common questions I get asked after the Olympics actually is, "Ray, were you in that race where that guy froze his penis?" That's one of the things that, I don't know, that seems to go through all the media. The answer is yes. Do that race. It was freezing cold and howling winds, and it really sucked. Fortunately, I was well dressed, I have to say. But I got to the finish line and I was so tired and so depressed that I just broke down. I was just on the edge of tears, and I had to walk through a long string of reporters and talk to them on camera. I'm so happy to be here, and I was super happy to be here, but I was just barely holding myself together because I just wanted to perform so well. I wanted to perform so badly, and I just couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. It just kept on for the rest of the year. I went to a bunch of World Cups, just every single race I tried, just no time avail. So then by the end of the year, I was like, okay, I'm done with this year. I don't want to go to the Canadian National Championships. Then someone told me, "Is it time to stop being a wuss?" But my only goal is going to be to have fun. So I showed up to the Canadian National Championships, 0 expectations. My mindset was, I'm probably going to be last in this race, but I don't care because the results don't matter. I showed up to the start line of that race with a smile on my face, and I won. That was the race that I won. How was it that I could try so hard for so long and fall so flat? And then when I had 0 expectations coming up, because I did force it. It's like one of those Chinese finger tricks. The harder you pull, the harder it is to get your fingers out. And it's not just analogies, and it's not just skiing. This is everything in life. I've seen this happen. I've seen this at university too a lot. Because there's so much pressure to do so many things when you first get out in the world. And I've seen so many people take on so much and try and force their way through life. And they all just crack. And I've seen so many broken people in the past 4 years because they try and force their way to the top. And the reality is that there's a lot of pressure out there. But really, you get to decide how much of that pressure you actually feel. And the ideal is not much. So there are 2 things I want you to take away from everything I've said today. The first is that sometimes it can seem like people have got it all figured out, but the reality is that sometimes you don't see the struggle that people go through. You guys all invited me here to speak today because I went to university, I went to Harvard, I did so well. But the reality is, like, I barely made it through. And it's a struggle for us. And it's a struggle for a lot of people out there.
So it has to be like that.
So when you feel that you're stuck and that everyone else is doing better than you, just realize that everyone else, even though it might not seem like it, they're probably struggling almost just as much as you are. That you can make it to where you want to go. But don't focus on reaching your destination. You're going to have to push a little bit, okay? That's a given. But don't push too hard. Because if you push too hard, then just like with my skiing, things won't happen for you. The most important lesson I've learned in the past 4 years is you have to just let the work happen. People always say that you have to go out and do what you love in life, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But the most important reason, I think, because if you do what you love, then you're motivated to put in the work, and the work that you do is going to be of higher quality. Okay? If you can put in the work, and the work is easy, then I can almost guarantee that you'll be successful in whatever you want to do. And all of our grads, you're all going to incredible places. You've all set great destinations for yourselves. Whether that's being a helicopter pilot, going to university, being an artist or a teacher, or whatever else. Spending a little bit of time trying to figure out what you're going to do. I think it's so cool that we're all going to incredible places. But I'll just ask you to make sure that you enjoy the journey because you spend so much of your time on the journey than at the destination. So go out there and have a pleasant trip. Thank you.
Well said, Remy. Thank you for your inspirational words. 7S, Rossland, and your family and friends, we're all very proud of your accomplishments, Remy. I'm hoping that shaking your hand will give me a dose of smart. I told my family that I graduated from clown school. They all laughed at me. Next, we're going to hear letters written to each individual graduate, written by their parents or guardians. First up is the letter written to Max Anho, and will be read by Tanis Shibby.
I should warn you that it probably would be good to have a box of Kleenex for this part of the grad, which I forgot. One of the cool things about a small town like Rossland is that most of these students come to us with a rich background and a story or two from shared birthday parties, sleepovers, ski comps, and all the other crazy adventures that Rossland kids get up to. Max has been a student at 7S for 1 year.
I've known Max since I was interested, and well, he's always been respectful. He definitely offers to be exclusive in his eyes and this is what Max is next. We love you, Max. creativity into expression. And make it easy for us to feel the expression of the students' quality. Students can point to a picture, a presence, and with that, the solutions to address within the moment is the method to arrive in optimal order.
That ability to be present allows you to change. Not just change speed, but direction. To go where you want and create your way. You can follow your path to the living character of which is the root of your soul. Mom may not be sending you with a granola bar and hand warmers anymore, but we're sending you with a list of character traits to live by. You're good to have with you whether you're 18 or 81. Generosity, integrity, loyalty, devotion, love, kindness, sincerity, self-control, peacefulness, faithfulness, patience, determination, persistence, open-mindedness, fairness, cooperation, tolerance, optimism, and spirituality. So use the tools you have, make or find more, get rid of others, but don't let them get dusty or rusty. Know that we are here to support you in all that life will bring you. Here's to Grad 2022. Go fast, take chances, love the Anthills and the Hortons. Max, if you want to come on up. Next up is Jen Boulay.
Hi everyone, I hope the mic works. If it starts to cut out, please just start waving. I'll move it right out of the way. I am so excited to be reading the parent letter for Cooper. I met Cooper the year that I moved because he moved here at the same time. Our families moved both from Manitoba. And so we've become very close as a family. And I'm actually, before I read the parent letter from Deacon Lindsay to Cooper, I'd like to ask Lindsay to come up because she is a long hauler. Cooper is our one graduate who's been here from grade 8 all the way through. So Lindsay, we'd like to hear you a little bit. From your parents. Dear Cooper, your dad wanted to be here, but here's cheaper in Panama. And well, Doug. I'll be speaking on our behalf today. This letter was much more difficult than a task that I anticipated. I started a version of this letter fully prepared to use my parental rights by reminding you of all the embarrassing stories that we had collected throughout the years. And trust me, there were so many. Diaper sumo wrestling, the hyphen tile and Scrabble, the story of your very first swear word when we were sleep training you, that was a good one, the so-called suerte or luck that the monkey left on your head in Mexico, so many great moments that we still laugh about, but I'll save you the humiliation. In another version of this letter, I went the sentimental route, but I couldn't get through writing it without sobbing. To spare you from seeing me ugly cry, I opted out of that one as well. So many versions of this letter exist that I've lost count. So I've decided to keep this version brief. Here it goes. We are so proud of you and what you have accomplished. It's hard to believe that this day has finally come, a bittersweet moment for us, a new beginning for you. You have worked hard to get to this day, and we celebrate you. Congratulations, Scooter Beans. P.S. Your dad has a haiku. Your dad wrote your haiku. Does everybody get your finger there? Graduation day. You're an adultish adult. Here's a suitcase. Bye. And hashtag pants are for chumps, hashtag don't panic, hashtag strive for mediocrity, hashtag try not to suck. So long and thanks for all the fish. Love you, loser. Cooper, come on up. Next up, we have, it would be Johnny speaking for Rhea.
Hi, everybody. I am so delighted that I get to read Rhea's letter. Since I'll just be really just my own little thing about her. Ever since she joined us 4 years ago in grade 9, every time she'd walk into my classroom, I would always just think to myself, "Oh, the ray of sunshine is here. It's so nice." So I'm really delighted that that's in this letter as well. So yeah. Okay, so here's from your wonderful mom. Dear Rhea, you are an icon, an absolute gem. I am so grateful and proud to have brought you into this world and helped you on your journey of self-discovery. You have always been my little ray of sunshine, even when something has brought out the storm cloud inside of you. Rhea, my little rainbow, my prism of happiness, you brighten up bad days with your lime green hair, your radiant personality, and your exceptionally loud voice. You're welcome for that. I am so proud of the human that you've grown into and quite intrigued as to what you will become. Throughout this life we've shared together, I have always let you take the reins, as you seem to know your place in the world better than I did, and demanded me to let you, regardless of my thoughts on the matter. You refused to be told what to do or how to do it because you already knew what you wanted to be and who you were. I respect that so much. So strong and unique, exceptional and delightful. I hope the world can handle you as you are, because if it can't, we're all in trouble. A few words of advice from your loving mama. Don't let your hindrances define you. You can do or be anything you want, and you are capable of anything and everything. I am so proud of you and will love you for eternity. My little ray of sunshine.
Okay, I get to come back up and read the letter from a parent for Josh Friesen. Josh joined us at the center. Where is Josh? Hi, Josh. Josh joined us at the center about a year and a half ago, and I'm so happy that he joined the center. He has been such an awesome person to get to know, and just so unique and fun, and really came out of his shell, and I think felt more and more comfortable as he got used to everybody always asking him how he was doing and how his day was. And it's been really fun to get to know you, Josh. Here is the letter from your mom. Letter to Joshua. It has been a roller coaster ride throughout the years. Some great memories might have escaped you, but don't forget there are good times to remember. Don't let good memories fade away during struggles life brings. A few reminders. Snips and snails and puppy dogs' tails, that's what little boys are made of. More like flowers, rocks, and jokes and turtles' tails, that's what little Josh was made of. Your heart is huge, and you were always thinking of others' well-being before your own. Struggles and hugs turned into hunting for turtles and sneaking around, hiding in the smallest of spaces, ready to jump out and scare whoever walked by. You were, and still are, not much of a movie watcher, but hearing your belly laugh while watching just for laughs when you were supposed to be tucked into bed sleeping made me laugh along with you, and letting you get away with your sneakiness. Then came grade school. Memories most likely you'd want to forget, but what you should remember is the support system that was fighting along with you, even if you didn't see it. Those wounds have become scars to tell your story, to help someone else feel less isolated and alone, and it is possible to survive while succeeding. Then came high school. You might not have seen it, but wow. You have emerged into a young man. You have no doubt. I have no doubt that you will find your way in this world. Hold your head high, be proud of who you are, continue to be kind to those who cross your path. You are young, don't worry if you don't know what you want to be in life. 18 years has been a whirlwind. It's okay to take a moment, breathe, and enjoy life. I'm beyond proud. Congratulations on winning this 12-year battle. Run up, Josh. If I can get Tanis to come up and she'll deliver for Lily.
Lily Holmes. My relationship with Lily is lifelong, and that has truly been a gift. I have known her since pre-birth. From a professional standpoint, my days were uplifted every day when Lily entered the center with her effervescent pink hair and her big smile and her contagious giggle and her firm moral compass that kept us on track. Lily has been a student at 7S for 4 years. She is planning to attend UBC in a Bachelor of Arts with a major in psychology. And her parents write, Lily Solea Holmes was born on a warm summer evening under the sign of Leo, the lion, and has shown a fiery and keen passion for life from that day forth. Lily is a great person to have on your team, as she is passionate, loyal, and can truly get anything done. Lily started her first long-distance bike ride when she was 1, when our family biked to Arizona, and has since bike toured across North America, Cuba, and all over Europe. We remember a time after biking from Canada to Arizona when we were visiting the High Desert Museum. Lily was 7, and one of the activities offered for kids was to break open rocks with a hammer to look for fossils. When the boy next to her told her she wasn't going to be able to break the rock open, she looked him in the eye and said, if she can bike from Canada to Tucson, Arizona, she could do anything. This is the same fierce determination that Lily puts into anything she is passionate about, to great successes and outcomes. Lily has always had a strong sense of justice and equality. To that end, she has shown a passion for supporting and promoting the rights of marginalized groups. Lily has been a part of creating and supporting many important causes over the years, from December to raising awareness for LGBTQA+ issues to environmental initiatives such as the Youth Action Climate Network. Having biked thousands of kilometers through 9 different countries, Lily's dad found her to be an amazing co-peddler with a positive attitude and a keen awareness of her ever-changing environment. Lily has been a great living and traveling companion who is now headed to the city to pursue her studies in psychology and continue networking in social action movements. As well as having had amazing academic successes, Lily also has an original and creative flair which shows up most often in her innovative sense of fashion, supported by local thrift stores. She often comes home with great purchases, and with minor alterations and enhancements, makes them look like something right out of Nouveau Mode magazine. Her expressive pursuits have also led her to design some remarkable earrings, some of which have even been sold online. Although academically focused over the past few years, Lily has shown herself to be very capable in outdoor pursuits such as downhill skiing, climbing, and bike touring. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that Lily will be successful in any endeavor she puts her mind to. Look out, world. Here comes Lily Solela Holmes. An adapted quote from Mother Teresa comes to mind. You alone cannot change the world, but you cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. Lily, your family is extremely proud of you. Sorry. We love you to the moon and back. Come on up. Next up is Johnny.
All right, hello again. I am here to talk about James Laird over there. He has been with us for 4 years since he joined us when he was in grade 9, and he is planning on attending Okanagan College to become a commercial helicopter pilot. And sitting over there, I was usually in the past with Seven Summits when we do this, there's fewer grads, so the teachers all get to yammer on about the students and everything, and I feel like I'm kind of happy that I don't have to about James, because I'm kind of speechless. He's such a full human being, actually. Like, since he joined us and wheeled his way through our school and everything, I'm speechless about it. He's such a great person and does so many great things, and I've really enjoyed having him. So, I'm just going to move on and read this. I learned a lot about him in reading this letter from his parents, so sit back and enjoy. This is a good one. Okay, so congratulations to James on his graduation from Seven Summits. For a kid who was born and raised on Protection Island not far from Nanaimo, this has been a long and adventurous journey. When asked to write a letter to James for graduation, we were a little stumped, although we would love to pour our hearts out to James, letting him know that we love him and are so proud of him. We couldn't help imagining sharing a funny biography as well. Bruce and I would like to take this time to share this strange childhood journey we've been on, and thank our loving families for always supporting and encouraging James as well. As a baby, James was known for crying when he was tired, but was otherwise a very happy, if very large baby. In fact, by the time he was 1, he already weighed 28 pounds and could walk. Being an early walker, James often seemed to fall right over and end up with a huge goose egg on his head or eye. By the time he could talk, he kept us constantly entertained, as he either had a severe speech impediment or a Boston accent, depending on who you asked. Before school, we spent many summer vacations visiting his Aunt Arlene, Uncle Paul, his cousins Amanda and Adam at their cabin near Winnipeg. And when we went to Mexico for the first time, James asked why we hadn't just gone to Manitoba, since the weather was always so pleasant there. On the trip back, it was James's 3rd birthday, and we gave him a stuffed jaguar that we had purchased at the airport. We knew that James would love it, since it looked like a baby jaguar from Diego's Animal Rescue Center. I don't know if I can say this the same way James would have, but Baby Jaguar was a big hit and was James's companion for a long time to come. Since we lived on the island, we decided to try our hand at homeschooling. James spent kindergarten working from home and developing a love of science and nature. The following year, we bought the restaurant, and since we'd been working daily in town, we enrolled James at the nearby French immersion school. For some reason, they placed him in a grade 1-2 split class, and by the end of the 2nd week, his teacher declared that he was likely deaf and unable to speak clearly in English or French. So they switched him into a K1 split, where he met most of his friends for the next 7 years: Jack, Merrick, Dom, and Nathaniel. James seemed to enjoy a pleasant 7 years, enjoying close friends and eventually becoming known for never wearing pants. This is going to keep coming back through this letter. I'm worried about what he's got under his gown over there. He, however, claims he never learned to speak or understand French. It's funny looking back because things did not get off to a smooth start. Since he was new to school and big for his age and spent a week in a grade 2 class, he was mistaken for an older boy who was also new. So we had several trips to the principal's office where we were asked to explain and apologize for why James was pushing kids off the merry-go-round. James lamely explained that it wasn't him, and we were completely baffled since the principal calmly explained that it was him and that he needed to apologize. Since his reputation now preceded him, his teacher was quick to call a meeting when he threw a juice box at Merrick. I was throwing it to him, not at him, he explained, when the teacher reminded him of his seemingly violent behavior. But as the first months flew by, everyone got to know James and learned that he was very amicable. He had many sleepovers, water fights, and hilariously large birthday parties. He could never settle on who to invite, so it quickly became the plan to invite everyone in his class every single year to every single birthday. One year we hosted his birthday at the ice rink, and in the end, every single kid in his class brought a younger sibling, Amber included, so there was actually 42 kids at the birthday party. Sounds like fun. Okay. When James was in grade 2, two very important things happened. Since his teacher couldn't understand a word he said, he was sent to speech therapy, where a very kind Mr. Scott seemed to enjoy talking to James about science. Suddenly, James no longer explained that he wanted to be a paleontologist, or something like that, and studied pterodactyls during the Cretaceous period, and became a very crisp-speaking young man. On spring break, James went to ski school for the first time, and at the end of the second day, he came back smelling like a hamster. I asked him why he had peed his pants. He explained that they never stopped to go to the bathroom. At the end of the week, we asked him if he'd like to go back to ski school or ski with Bruce instead, and he was just thrilled to be going skiing with Dad instead, who said he could basically ski quite well as long as he didn't stop. Soon after, James stopped wearing pants, and I always wondered if it was because of the ski school incident. Who could imagine wearing wet ski pants all day? So somehow, 2 years later, James tried out for the Mountain Adventure program and got in. Yet he was the only kid who had never been to ski school. The coaches were appalled when they realized it and said he'd have to ski with the girls. Well, James didn't seem disappointed at all, and every weekend without complaint until he got into the free ride club. Eventually, after checking out Red Mountain and Seven Summits, we all agreed to move to the sweet, beautiful secret village Rossland, when James was in grade 9. With this amazing school, amazing teachers, and amazing community, we came for the skiing but stayed for this amazing town and this completely amazing school, where Jen and Johnny always pushed James to do a little better, try a little harder, and Anne, Joyce, and Candace guided, appreciated, and supported him in ways that we could never imagine possible at any other school. So we thank you all for making James' high school experience the amazing one that it's been. Since then, James has yo-yoed and heeled his way through classes and an endless array of surprising adventures, all while rarely wearing a pair of pants unless he was skiing. He walked, biked, and one-wheeled from Red Mountain to school all before he could drive himself to school. He's lived with us, lived on his own, and lived through COVID. He's been a ski competitor, been a ski teacher, and a lift operator, and he always had a great attitude, a secret smile, and a warm heart. You constantly surprise us and your colleagues by being so incredibly hardworking, quick-thinking, kind, and helpful. And you baffled and impressed us with your determined desire to stick your head in the hole. Sorry, I don't have that picture. It's on my desk it's going to be on my desk in my classroom forever, I'm sure. Head in the hole, and we love you for it. You've shown hard work and determination by applying for helicopter training in Kelowna, and we know your hard work and determination will pay off yet again. So good luck, and we hope you enjoy the ride. All right, and I know someone is talking about Cooper next, and I'm sorry, it's Candace. Here we go.
Cooper Legler has been a student at 7S for 3 years. Quite simply, he is probably one of the kindest humans on the planet, and there is no one he would not help or support. He is planning to attend Nipissing University to earn a bachelor's degree in political science, and he will be skiing on their cross-country varsity team. Cooper's parents write, Dear Cooper, we are so proud of who you are and feel grateful to be your parents. As we celebrate your graduation, we watch in amazement at the compassionate, inspiring young man you have become. Through perseverance and hard work, you achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. That's not a slip. Even when you were living far away from your troop. You have found a sport that you love and made it an integral part of your life. You have developed into a strong leader and an advocate for others. You are a wonderful person, smart, kind, funny, and talented. As you finish this chapter of your life, we'd like to pass on a few words of advice. Remember to be true to yourself always. There is no one else like you, so allow your uniqueness to shine through. Don't take life too seriously. Laugh at yourself when you make mistakes. Don't worry about things you cannot control. You get only one life, so enjoy it to the fullest. Call your mother. Or at least text your mother. Stand up for others. Continue to recognize injustice when you see it. Live your own